Hey guys, Dylan here. Today we are doing a quickie discussion. Today's quickie discussion is on the classic. We start this off with a quote. "I have just dug through the dirty half of those bags, more than 10 or 20 of them. Then in a bag of damp ones, I found the shirt. Chris on the shirt, nonchalantly revealing Barb had hoarded 20 bags of old clothing after the fire. The classic is a red and blue, seemingly Ralph Lauren brand rugby shirt formerly worn by Chris from at least before December 20th, 2004 to when he became a tomgirl. It was initially thought to be lost in the 2014 to the destruction of Chris's house, which is the fire they're referring to, but had survived at the bottom of a soaked, grimy garbage bag full of clothing. Prompted by Chris's financial crisis, he went searching for it in April 2017, hoping to sell it to a fan. Now, one thing you need to know about clothing is, if clothing is left in water for long enough, it will slowly start to deteriorate. So I think most of the damage came from it being in that bag for so long. If Chris would have sorted through the clothes right after the fire, maybe it could have been saved, but he just waited far too long to try to do anything. It slowly rots. Although no such sale came to pass, as of August 2018, the original shirt is lost. As of October 2019, Chris owns Mark II Classic, almost the same as the original, but sporting orange and blue instead of the original orange, red, and blue. Well, then it's not the same shirt. I don't care. If it's not the same shirt, it doesn't matter to me. Don't call it the classic. History. The earliest known instance of Chris wearing the classic is in the "All I Want for Christmas Is a Pretty Girlfriend" clip, a very famous one, infamous, filmed on December the 20th, 2004. The shirt made many appearances between 2005 and 2009. Chris wore it on February 25th, 2007 during Christian Weston Chandler's Future Message, which is the iconic video, one of Chris's very first videos to be noticed by the internet. The first video he uploaded on YouTube. It's also the debut shirt from the comic book Chris, and that's really the only reason why it's famous at all, is because that's the shirt Chris wore in the comic. That's why everyone loves that shirt. Though the colors he draws are lighter than the real thing. Chris just kind of improvises with whatever crayons he has around, or markers. The shirt made its last appearance as of classic Chris era on the 23rd of November 2009, when he filmed a quick personal Sonichu presentation. On January 10th, 2014, 14 Branch Lane Court was gutted by a fire, which was caused by Chris. Maybe one day we'll do a video on how the fire happened. The shirt was thought to be lost by both Chris and his fans until April 2017, when he found it in a bag of laundry that was still damp from the water he used to put out the fire. Now, that's terrible. It probably had mildew all over it, and he went around wearing this thing. I'm gonna show you what the shirt looked like. I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see it. He actually rinsed this off and wore this thing. You can see how it decayed. No one should wear that. And you can see more fucked up shit. I hope he didn't keep any of this shit, because it can get moldy, and then you can actually start to suffer because of this type of stuff. It shouldn't even been in the house that long. It really shouldn't have. And I see he's got like one new washer, but the dryer looks ancient. Following the house fire and the subsequent renovation of the Chandlers moved back into 14 Branch Lane Court. Naturally, Barb insisted on bringing the hoard back into the house, even though portions of it was ruined by the fire, or the efforts to extinguish it. The laundry room became the dumping ground for the mountain pile of trash, which you should clear that out, Chris, if you can, because that shit will make you sick. That might be why your health is failing, because you got a bunch of moldy shit lying around. The bags were filled with water and damaged clothing, which you shouldn't keep in your house. Trash bags festered for 3 years. On April 2017, Chris sifted through them as his quest to find the classic. The contents were laced with mold, like I thought they would be. Chris, being naive, failed to realize the health risk. "I'll probably have another cold or something. My throat was feeling the familiar scratchy after after going through those bags. A few of them had wet and dirt and wall lining all in them. You shouldn't have that, Chris. If your house has asbestos lining, that can give you cancer. I really don't think you understand how dangerous it is to keep that shit in your house. Dang, house fire, it's like cat litter. And the fact that you're irritated to it could either be from the mold, it could be from the installation. That all of that shit is dangerous for your health. After finding the classic and inspired by the successful sale of the Sonic Totem relic for $1,500 2 weeks before, he listed the shirt on eBay for $12,000 minimum on the 19th of April 2017. He immediately snapped a photo of it, then posted it for a listing, not realizing that the mold growth evident in the picture would not entice sales. He later washed it and then posted a photo of it on eBay, replacing the original one. Well, that doesn't help Chris because we already seen the first photo. Later, he recorded live game stream C-log, whatever numbers those are, the shirt to promote it. Donning the shirt for the first time in years. I wouldn't have wore that thing. Having last worn it in 2009's quick personal Sonic presentation. 3 days later, the auction ended at $25,100. The winning bidder did not pay. What a shock. Humorously, Chris fails to realize that $25,100 is a gross overestimate of how much money it would be required to repair a piece of clothing, even those affected by water damage. And you can see like holes in the shirt. This is the shirt after he made the attempt to clean it. But really, there's just no saving that. It's beyond fucked. It's just so fucked up. I don't know why he would even try to fix that fucked up shirt. Restoration effort beyond help. Multiple tailors and cleaners upon seeing the shirt, according to Chris. Yeah, that's what I would say. Could any of you haters sew better? The hole was large. I sewed as good as possible. Then I reinforced the latter with a patch cover. Why would you do that? You should never patch. You shouldn't patch shirts like that. Why would you do that? If anything, this not only keeps it as iconic, but marks it as another masterpiece for myself, making it worth more. No. Any worth that it had is gone. Like, you had an obvious thing you could do. If I were you, I would have cut the shirt up, framed the pieces, and then sold the framed pieces for money. Like, you could have sold the frames for like $10 each, $20 each, and then people would have had little fabrics from the original shirt. And hopefully you sealed it enough to where it wouldn't contaminate people. Chris began an effort to restore the shirt on April 29, 2017. This shirt had sustained large tears as a result of neglect. He asked several professional tailors to repair it, however, they turned down the job as being too difficult. Undeterred, Chris set out to fix it himself. He recorded 90 minutes of him sewing the shirt and posted several before and after photos on Twitter. And that's one of the before and after photos, and you can see that the whites don't even match. That's just the minimum of what's wrong there. A commenter on Kiwi Farms noted the issues with his project. Incorrect type of needle, patches were incompatible with the shirt, not trying to match the colors, not taking measures to prevent frays or shrinkage, not applying patches to the inside of the shirt. Yeah, those are just some of the issues with it. And, like, this looks worse than the shit I did when I was a kid trying to sew. After a few hours of work, Chris declared his effort a masterpiece, because of course he would, and said the classic was worth more because of it. At the time of this statement, he believed he already made the sale for $25,100. On May 4th, after 5 days of work, Chris completed the restoration. He signed it using his trans woman name and celebrated the job by wearing it in public, which he shouldn't have. By 2018, the shirt deteriorated. Chris attended too many games with the shirt on, which I covered that. If you want to see how the shirt looked then, go watch that video. With the shirt in June of last year, the photographs of him wearing it at the event showing the shirt was practically falling apart, and that's because it sat in water for so long, it just made the fabric start to deteriorate. And some of the stitching Chris had attempted to carry out, having split or frayed in places. On the 4th of July, a very special day, he posted on Twitter asking Ralph Lauren's help in either reproducing or restoring the shirt. This did not come to pass, and Chris would still regularly wear the rapidly deteriorating fabric. By this point, it would be easier to just buy a new shirt than attempt to repair it, which is true. Loss. On the 10th of August 2018, Chris revealed in a text message to Teen Truant Squad, which I've covered them before too, that the classic was lost by Barb cleaning his room, which I'm really shocked she would. She's usually not the type to throw away stuff. While he was away at BronyCon, whether Barb's intention was payback for leaving her for the weekend or out of forgetfulness, Chris responded by hitting and humping a pillow effigy representing his mother in front of her. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Chris? Why would you make a pillow that looks like her and hit it and hump it? I can get the hitting part. That makes me think you might be abusive, but why hump? Why hump, Chris? He would then search for a replacement, which is first seen during the Dimensional Merge announcement videos. And these are some more of the photos, the restored in public, Chris promoting his Patreon, the old shirt, the 4th of July, how it looked like, and a pony card of it. And that was the classic. Hopefully you guys learned something new today. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it. If you want to see more, then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and bye. Before the credits roll, I thought I'd give a shout out to my multiple ways of making money. YouTube is starting to slowly sanitize the platform, making it harder for people to make money on edgier content like I do. So I'm reminding you guys that I have a Patreon. The Patreon has plenty of reward tiers, including seeing my podcast early and possibly getting onto the show if I can fit that into the schedule. I have video recommendation tiers that you can try to get into, and if all else fails and my YouTube falls apart, I always have a BitChute account. So remember to check out all these different things in the description below.